Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3. This week, we're talking about genre theory, which is very near and dear to my heart. I came to study genre theory here at the University of Washington for my PhD in 2012, and I got to work with Anish Bawarshi, one of the more influential voices in the field. Genre theory is relevant to us because it has a profound explanatory power in helping us understand the patterns of writing that exist in the world inside and outside of academia and in our careers. And more importantly, the work that these types of writing do. I want to preface this discussion by talking about theory for a moment. Often we find theory to be difficult and intimidating, but it need not be. Let's think of some theories that we know. So let's take evolution, for example. This theory is actually just an idea or explanation of how species develop from earlier species through mutations that make individuals more likely to reproduce. At least that's the theory in a nutshell. It's a sound theory because the explanation is based on the best evidence that we have at the moment. All scientific theories are like this. They are the best explanations that we have for a particular phenomenon based on the evidence we have at our disposal. Um, Not counting conspiracy theory, these are not actually theories, they're based on lies, but they do still try to explain some phenomenon, so they're, they don't count. Um, Genre theory is an explanation for how different patterns of communication work, how we learn them, and how they affect their audiences. For example, when you meet someone, at least before COVID 19, you probably shook their hand. You didn't invent the handshake, but everyone recognized it as a socially appropriate action when you meet someone. It communicates a great deal. It communicates that you're trustworthy and are willing to have a physical connection with this other person, albeit an extremely safe, appropriate physical connection. The handshake is a genre that does the work of introducing and establishing a rapport. We can see now with the pandemic that there are increasing varieties of replacements for the handshake, including the elbow bump and others. The handshake is specific to some cultures, but not to others. It is a pattern and it is familiar to most people in that discourse. Take a moment and search for the origin of handshake on your favorite search engine. Comment below about some of the interesting handshakes from history. There are lots. It should be pretty interesting. Now, instead of talking about all of the features and facets of genre theory here, I'm going to do a short genre analysis for you all. I'll focus on the genre of political slogan and hashtag in general, and the Black Lives Matter hashtag and slogan in specific. I will discuss how they fit into the genre, what they seem to say, what they actually say, what force they exert on their audience, and how we see evidence of them being taken up. I'll start with political slogans. Political slogans have been around as long as there's been politics, or at least democratic politics. I won't go all the way back to ancient Greece, but in the United States we can see Herbert Hoover's slogan, "A chicken in every pot," or the xenophobic "America First" that appears every few decades. The 1960s gave us "Make Love, Not War," and the LGBTQ rights movement gave us "We're here, we're queer, get used to it." More recently, we've had to suffer through "Make America Great Again," which, regardless of your political leanings, is a very effective example of a political slogan. It taps into nostalgia, American pride, and xenophobia all at the same time. Gross. Now, I've talked for a moment, so maybe pause the video here and think about how political slogans work. What do all political slogans that you know have in common? How are they different? Comment below and do that before you continue because I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think about political slogans here. So, comment below. Thanks for commenting. Now, we can see that political slogans are short. They capture a big idea in a few words. They're catchy and easy to remember, and they usually represent the thesis or core of some political movement. They're also relevant to the culture in which they emerge and are usually a response to some threat, injustice, or other major issue that people are concerned about. It's worth noticing that they're more of a rallying cry than an argument. They're generally not changing people's minds, but rallying support of people who already agree or who are on the fence. In the age of hashtags, they are even more relevant because our technology allows us to find like minded folks through their political slogans. Now let's turn to Black Lives Matter. As a slogan, it is quite powerful and effective. First, it is an assertion of a core and fundamental belief that the lives of black people matter. It's also addressing a threat and injustice. Specifically, the United States is defined by white supremacy, and the lives of black people are treated as expendable, or at least less valuable than the lives of white people. The movement, then, that Black Lives Matter stands for is a movement to dismantle white supremacy and change society so that the lives of black, indigenous, and other people of color do matter. As a slogan, Black Lives Matter does all the work that a political slogan is supposed to do. It's short, memorable, and captures the core concern of the movement. Moreover, it has gained traction and has been repeated over and over again. In fact, the slogan has been so effective that the movement itself is known by the slogan. The slogan is Black Lives Matter, and the movement is frequently called the Black Lives Matter movement. The slogan is also effective because it creates a clear line in the sand. It's a simple assertion about the value of the lives of particular people. If the audience agree that the lives of black people matter, then they are welcome in the movement. Likewise, if someone challenges the slogan and the movement, they are challenging the fundamental idea that Black Lives Matter. It's a line in the sand. So all lives matter and blue lives matter and all of that nonsense are so troubling not for their claim. We all agree that the lives of all people should matter. Instead, by contradicting Black Lives Matter with these alternative slogans, people are really saying they disagree with the premise that lives of black people matter. In short, Black Lives Matter as a slogan defines a movement that any decent person should be able to get behind. And if a person is unwilling to get behind that, it is tantamount, at least rhetorically, to being against black lives. Effective political slogans frequently work like this. They create a particular in-group among their audience that has a low barrier for entry. They also make the position of their opponents untenable. Hopefully most of us here consider racism and white supremacy untenable positions to hold. A couple other examples of this might be pro-life and pro-choice. Both position their adversaries as anti-life and anti-choice, respectively. This ability of slogans to create movements by establishing social in-groups that the audience members are invited to join is interesting and relevant. Beyond this, when we connect the political slogan to the technology of the hashtag, the grouping power of the slogan increases. Hashtags allow users on social media to tag keywords in their posts. You've seen this before, of course. This allows other users to find all the posts tagged by a particular hashtag. This is interesting because it allows us to easily connect with a bunch of other people who are basically interested in the same thing as us without having to go out and meet them individually. If I want to find content or writing from people who support Black Lives Matter, I just need to click on the hashtag BLM or hashtag Black Lives Matter or some other flavor of the hashtag. Likewise, if I want to identify myself as a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement, I will just tag my content with the appropriate hashtags and other people will find it. Of course, other movements and slogans have used the hashtag to enhance the genre of political slogan as well. The common feature is that the slogans coalesce discourses and help gather social groups. As you go forward in technical and professional writing, think about how the genres are part of discourses, what work those genres do in the particular setting they exist in. For now, however, I've talked a whole lot, more lectury perhaps than I was hoping to be, but I'd love to hear about your thoughts on the political slogans and other public genres, how they create groups. So comment below. Now, this is a political topic, and I am a little concerned about the potential comments that could show up. Please don't let my concerns be realized. Please be civil. I'll be moderating the comments below. So, have a great day and have a great week.